on the inside, and this is Pete's Tasty Tomato on the outside. So I've got my Shino right here, and I like to have low stools to put the buckets on. Now, Shino is an ancient Japanese glaze, and they come in a variety of colors, but they all sort of have some characteristics that are consistent. And one of those characteristics is Shino's trap carbon, which means if there's any carbon in the atmosphere from the combustible fuel, Shino likes to grab some of it. So, for example, this is a Shino right here, and all this black is carbon that was in the smoke, floating around in the kiln. Ours doesn't produce that dark of a carbon trap, but it will trap it in places. And Shinos, just like that, have a lot of variety. That's one glaze on that piece, and it goes from black to almost white with a bunch of sort of earth tones in between. On this one, it's gotten kind of a grayish white on the edges. Around the flat surfaces, it's broken. This is called breaking when it changes color on hard edges, just like that one does, like that one does, like that one does, and like that one does. Some glazes don't break at all. Good example. Another good example. Another good example. The breaking can bring out texture. So sometimes if a glaze breaks, you'll get this variety in the texture that is just a characteristic of the glaze. And sometimes it's really gorgeous. Each one of these samples, for what it's worth, has a dark stripe on the back. Or a stripe on the back, put it that way. That one didn't do anything. That one did a little bit. That's a swatch of red iron oxide right out of the little container without rubbing it down. So if I put Horning Blue on top of this, where you see that thick application of red iron, it's probably going to come out a rust color, and then it'll be blue all around it. In all our test samples, we put a stripe of red iron on it just to see what it does. There it is on the Panama Red. Panama Red breaks. Iron Blue makes a rust color. Not very pretty on Rhodes White. Not very pretty on Shino. Okay on Mauve. But anyway, it's all a personal thing. Celadon. Must not have put it on that one. Okay, so I'm going to dip the inside. I want to pour a glaze on the inside of this. I've already waxed it. I already put red iron on it before I waxed it. And I want to put glaze Shino on the inside and down to this line right here. Stir it, stir it, stir it, and stir it some more. Shinos are glazes that almost never run, and they're prettier when they're thick. So I put glaze, of all the buckets out here, the Shino is the thickest, meaning it has the least amount of water. See those air bubbles? Mm-hmm. Shino is a slippery glaze. It has bone ash in it. And back in the old days, bone ash was an ingredient that people would put in handmade soap. So when you stir Shino, it'll bubble, it'll froth, much like soapy water. When you get it on your fingers, it's slippery like soap. But bone ash is mildly caustic. That's one reason why it cleans. So you don't want to get it on your hands and leave it on it for too long. And even when you stick your hands in the water, I can still feel it. It's like that soap is really on my fingers. As long as it has this kind of a dark color, it hasn't dried. So I'm going to set that one aside. And let's see, I decided the inside of this would be horn and blue.